A pagoda is a tall, tower-like building with many roofs stacked on top of each other. They're often found in Asia and used for temples and other special places. In this video, you'll learn how to draw one and then give it a pretty painterly look just by brushing some water over those marker lines. Hi, my name's Kathy, and I've been teaching kids how to draw for over 20 years now. You know, my favorite thing to do is to show students that when you take things one step at a time, learning how to draw just might be easier than you think. The supplies you need for this project are a sheet of watercolor paper, that's important, a scrap piece of paper, a pencil, water-based markers, a brush, and a little water. You may also find a link to a free step-by-step tutorial in the description below. As always, I recommend adding center pencil guidelines on your paper before you begin your project. They're also on all my tutorials, so it's easy to follow along. Let's begin by drawing a wide, skinny rectangle near the bottom of the paper. Draw the straight line that's centered across, the two sides, and then another straight line underneath. Next comes a taller rectangle that's going to sit on top of that. Draw the sides and the top, and make sure this is centered on that middle line too. Let's move up now and begin the rectangle that's going to sit above this bigger one. Start with a straight line that's a little less wide than the other one. Now we can connect those two with a roof line that curves up just a little bit. Now just give it your best shot to draw a matching roofline shape on the other side. The middle floor is added next. Just draw two vertical lines for the sides and connect them at the top. This rectangle should be a little less wide than the one on the bottom. I'm going to start that top floor now with some dots because I want it to be a little less wide than the middle rectangle. Now we can do what we did below and draw the roof. Oh, looks like I have a visitor here. All right, as I was saying, the next thing to do is to draw the roof shape on the right side and then a matching one on the left side. And we'll see if my kitty cat decides to join us again or not. I think she might. The very top of the pagoda has a kind of cap shape, and it's centered and sits near the top of the paper. Now we just need to connect those two shapes with a taller roof line on the right and a matching symmetrical one on the left. Now let's move down and add some lines to that main floor. If you do them in pairs like this, it'll look like 4 poles. The lines inside the roof are curved and kind of follow the shape of the roof too. So I like to start in the middle and then add ones on the right and the left and gradually make them a little more curved until they kind of match that outer shape on the last one. The middle floor, oh, guess who's back to watch? All right, well, the middle floor gets those pole lines too, just like the ones on the bottom. Now I'm going to add those curved lines again to the middle roof section, going back and forth from one side to the other, so they're nice and symmetrical. You know, I think my kitty is just pretty fascinated by my pencil. Isn't she about the cutest thing ever? Her name is Kit, and I think she says hi. Let's finish off that top floor now with some vertical lines to look like poles. The very top needs some curved roof lines too. We just don't need very many. I'm going to draw a center one and one on the right and the left, and then maybe squeeze in one more to finish that off. Okay, our building is done, but let's add some clouds in the background to make things a little more interesting. And we need a horizon line and maybe some squiggles for the ground. All right, it's time to trace all of those pencil lines with a marker, but it's important that you use a water-based one, not a permanent one. Okay, when all of your lines are traced with that marker, then do take a minute to erase any pencil lines that are still showing. Okay, here's the fun part. Now all you need is a little bit of water and a skinny paintbrush. And what you need to do is slowly go over those marker lines and add a little bit of water, just enough to make them bleed on both sides. You'll see that if you just lightly go over it until it starts to make a lighter color and then go on to the next line, it'll make this really cool kind of painterly look. Continue brushing water over all of your lines until every one of them has a kind of fuzzy look to it on both sides. It is important to use water-based markers. If you had a Sharpie, it would not bleed like this. I'm going to do the same thing to my clouds and ground line too, so they all have a kind of painted look to them. All we need to do now is to make some light blue paint for that sky. The easy way to do this is get a scrap piece of paper and put a lot of marker color on it, rub it with water, and then use this as your new paint. Just go back and forth. If the color gets light, get some more marker, but keep spreading it out. You'll end up with a nice, pretty blue color. Continue this process to fill in the background until you or your kitty think you're done. So there's a look at my finished pagoda painting. I really like how the blue looks, and as it turns out, blue is a very significant color in Asian cultures too. It stands for healing and trust. If you visit my website, Art Projects for Kids, you'll find more multicultural projects, like one for drawing a more detailed pagoda and one for drawing Buddha. I hope you try those out too, and I hope that you keep on drawing and making art.